Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We are Rumblepop live. I'm excited. Are you excited? Feel these nipples. Like these, I'm excited.
Well, come on now, sir. This is a PG-13 show. You keep forgetting that.
Is it, though? I feel like it's R. I feel like we're dirty pirates and this is rated R.
Hard. Children that watch this show every now and again. We want to make sure we're appropriate for them.
Children appropriate. Yeah.
My face is not appropriate, so it's definitely rated R.
But look, my face isn't appropriate either, but yet I want to make
that's
sure
true.
I have a PG-13 face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel you. I'm going to do some stuff in the background. Kevin's going to do some quick introductions, and we're going to get started real fast, guys. So go ahead and smash the like button if you can. Give us a follow. Tell your friends about us, please. It's always fun to communally share shit like this.
Yes, indeed. Share this wonderful, delicious news and message of the Rumblepop. So first, let me introduce my co-host and co-conspirators for the evening. First, the madman, the crazy man, the potty mouth man in that blue headset with the beard with the on-air sign in the background. He's originally from Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. He is DC Comics for life. And if you have a problem with it, he will pop you in the mouth and knock out every tooth if you talk trash about the Blue Beetle. He was voted the second sexiest man in North Hollywood, California for 3 consecutive years for some strange reason. Give it up for the man known as Donald McKenney.
Boy, that was a delay.
Fourth tallest man in Vietnam.
I was worried for a second. That was quite the delay, guys. I don't know what's going on here, but there was a delay in the applause. I don't know why. It's definitely not a button.
That's strange.
It took people a moment to just kind of bask in your greatness before they could properly gather themselves.
Yeah, they were all busy shitting their pants, and that's why they couldn't.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's it.
Next, we go to one of the most educated men in all of the United States of America. He is a man originally from that beautiful Wolverine Great Lakes state of Michigan. He is a man who now resides in the Houston, Texas area. He is a man who teaches young minds the power of education, the power of being the best thespian that they can be. He will make sure that he get a job in Hollywood, Broadway, or in the independent theater. Give it up for the sexiest professor in Texas. He is Chris D. Turner.
Welcome, everybody. Wait, was that?
And last, but certainly not least, a man, it's been 2 years since he's been on Rumblepop.
No shit. 2 years?
Yes, it's been 2 years. Yes, sir. It's been 2 years. Since 2022, the last episode I remember you did was when we did the DC versus Marvel superhero September showdown. So yes,
I understand. I said a few things about Blue Beetle I shouldn't have. Alan banned me from the show.
How dare you?
That is true. He said some nasty things about him. But let's give props to this man who's originally from that beautiful nation of Iran. He is a man who grew up on the rough streets of Olympic and Pico and worked his way. He moved on up to Agora Hills, California with his family. He is the Sultan of Smiles. He is the Emir of Comedy. He is the Crown Prince of Cannabis. Give it up for the Persian love machine. He is Reza Asghari.
Oh, wow. And a namaste to you.
And of course, I am your humble servant, your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor and dear brother, Brother Kevin.
Ooh, Brother Kevin.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know how this...
And since you want to stay on schedule, I think Donald, in his sick, twisted mind, has something to pull out.
All right. Okay, guys. I read a few books over the weekend, just 3. We're going to be fast about this, though. Okay, this is the first time I've ever actually enjoyed anything Jonathan Hickman has written, and I'm not even joking. I'm trying to time myself apparently over here in the corner. But this is Aliens versus Avengers. I love it. I think it's so much fun. He's getting really detailed, which is what he does. But I think for the first time in his life and mine, it actually works. So if you are not reading Aliens versus Avengers, do yourself a service. Go out and find it. It is, unfortunately, $8 a book, which is a goddamn small fortune. So if you don't have the money, I understand. If you're nice to me, I'll let you borrow mine. But shit, it's expensive, but it's worth it. It's really, really solid stuff, and it's extra pages. After that, I read Absolute Superman. It's a simple retelling of Superman in a very intricate way, and I don't know how to explain it otherwise. But Jason Aaron's writing it. I'm actually enjoying it. It doesn't seem like he's rehashing stories like he's been known to do in the past. It seems to be original. It seems to be fresh. I like this Superman, and I like where he's going with it. So I'm in on all Absolute Superman #1 for now. Definitely pick that up if you can. It is only $6. What a steal. And last but not least, Absolute Batman. I finally got an effing copy of this thing. This is the hardest book of the year to find without overpaying. And this is Absolute Batman #1. This is Scott Snyder wrote this. It's actually very good. And the only thing, and I still don't like it, and you're never going to convince me that it's a good idea, is this axe thing that's on his chest, that he adds a piece to it, and he pulls it off his chest and creates like an axe with it. And it's just dumb. But besides that,
With his barcode Batman.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I would say probably 12-year-old me would be like, that's fucking awesome. But adult me is like, how's he walking around with the thing on, and why is it there, and doesn't he have another thing he could use instead, or what happened? But there are some cool ideas. I am enjoying it so far. So Alfred Pennyworth's introduction into the series, I think, is probably one of the best introductions of Alfred Pennyworth that you're going to get in any Batman comic. So if you get a chance to pick this one up, it was $5. Good luck on that one. A second printing did arrive last week, I believe, or the week before, if I recall. I think it was last week, though. So grab it while you can. It's Absolute Batman #1, and it is well worth the price of admission, guys. So enjoying it. Scott Snyder seems to be back for now. He hasn't fizzled out yet on this title, so I'm going to definitely give that a shot through the whole 5-part storyline that he's first starting out with.
His New 52 run was really good.
For the most part, yeah, until the end. I felt like he was fizzling out near the end, and then he started to do the heavy metal, I think it was, and all of that Dark Knight's heavy metal and stuff kind of really sucked bad. It was really bad. It was really bad.
But yeah, I like that the cape is intuitive, like a Spawn kind of cape.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. They haven't really explained that yet, so hopefully we get there with that explanation. But I do enjoy that, and I also enjoy pulling out. Okay, so a few things real quick. Sammy's here. My mom and dad are here. Everybody say hi to my mom and dad.
Hi, Mama.
Dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Thanks for joining. Sammy's here, so hi, Sammy. We have a few people popping in. I would like to see more before we get started. So that's why we created the preliminary battles, which is what we're going to start with. So it's going to be an interesting time. We're going to get right to it. And
Yeah, I'm sending the link out accordingly. So
okay, cool. We've got a few people. Let's see. There he is. Okay, so one of the preliminary battles is none other than Andrew Dice Clay, the king of the offensive joke, if I recall, back in the 80s. That's what he was known for.
if I recall, you always called women broads.
It was nursery rhymes.
Yeah, hickory dickory dock.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Andrew Dice Clay versus another controversial one that really shouldn't have been controversial at all. He was just, when he first came out, he was fresh, he was funny, I actually enjoyed it, and then he really just did fizzle out, and that is Dane Cook.
Ooh, boy, yeah.
Yeah.
He became very one-note fast.
Yep. Very one note, very fast. But he had a rather lucrative acting career there for quite a minute. More so, I would say, than Andrew Dice Clay.
Good luck. Who's that movie?
What's the
Good Luck,
first,
Chuck.
social media. Nobody had done that before him, and he built
true.
a huge following that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically how he built his platform, was through the early days of MySpace.
Yeah,
That was
yep,
smart.
really
That's smart.
smart. Yeah.
And that's why
He
you're
also-
here. That's the reason why you're here, Reza, because you yourself are a stand-up comedian. You've done it for many years around the country, so you understand what it takes, to get to that point and to keep an audience, engrossed.
Do I, though? Because how far have I gotten from that point?
But you.
Well,
but you
I think
performed
that
a lot of-
we should look at our successes and not our negatives as far as like where we're at now. Let's look at all that
That's the
we've
whole
done.
point of a stand-up comedian is to be a cynical asshole. towards
Self-deprecating.
everything.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get that.
But you perform in places that I couldn't imagine performing at. So shoot, man. Take that as a,
Are you referring to the nudist colony?
Well, that's one of those.
Got a standing ovation.
There was one comedian who decided to perform with no clothes on, and it was the one that shouldn't have, unfortunately.
Oh.
There was just...
Was it Roseanne?
It was a sad sight to see.
Why, did it scare people away or something?
Well,
Like, the main event was smaller than the sideshow, if that's any way to put it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
He
but
went on stage with his sneakers and a baseball hat, and
Wait,
one of the other comedians leaned over to me and just went, "Braves fan, huh?"
he is probably a grower, not a shower. There's always that. So.
Well, if there was ever a time to show, that was the time.
Yeah, that was the time to shine. Let's see. Grace is here. She says, "Yay!" Hello,
Hey,
Grace.
Aw.
Cage is
Grace.
here.
Arme. If you finally pronounced Arme's name correctly.
I gotta give one shout out to my Grace, girl.
And George Wilkins has popped in.
What's up, George?
And he says, first comedian rock star, Dice is a monument. Nice for the Dice. Sammy says, I did used to find Dane funny. Now he's just kind of a creep dating way younger women.
Well, it's funny you mention it. You know his birthday is today? Who also dates younger women?
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio. He turned 50 today.
Oh, he's 50 years old, and he's dating somebody that's how old?
He's always dating. He's kind of notorious for always dating women older than like 20s.
Yeah, and I heard that
7, something like that.
I heard that he doesn't care geographically where they are, like near, far, wherever they
Yeah.
are. Yeah. He's just-
Yeah.
No. Okay. I'm just gonna shut up.
Oh,
Oh,
that kind of night, huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think it is. All right, let's put a minute on the clock here, guys, and you can cast your votes here. So it is Andrew Dice Clay versus Dane Cook. I kind of want to give it
Dice,
to the
because
Clay,
he is
man.
one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Like, Dice is an original comedian from like the early days where comedy started becoming really popular on TV, and Dane Cook is a social media comic. He
Mhm.
was built off of that platform.
So it's interesting.
You
We have a
watch it-
pioneer for like HBO specials, and we have a pioneer for MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
With Dane Cook, if you watch his first special, maybe a second one, they're not bad. But then when you watch the third one, the fourth one, everything else, you realize he doesn't really have punchlines. He just says something loud and weird at the end of the joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's his mannerisms and his delivery that gets people to laugh, because the joke itself isn't actually that funny.
Dane gets cooked, says George Wilkins.
Oh,
Alex Banquita's here.
George
Hello.
knows, I'm cooking.
Hey,
what's up,
Alex.
Alex?
And John Cataline's here. John, thanks for joining. John was here. Was just last week. John was here,
Yes.
and we did the
was.
battle of the horror, the slasher icons, basically.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think we have to keep going. Like, the time is up. Dane has not gotten any votes. No one gives a shit. So, it's going to Andrew Dice Clay. So that's obvious. Andrew just totally whooped on Dane Cook, and that's fine.
All right, so now we go to the next preliminary matchup.
Yep. Next one is going to be an interesting one. It's just different.
A lovely lady, I actually do find funny.
You
And
do?
that is Sarah Silverman.
Jesus, Kevin, could you picked a sexier photograph?
Well, it was like, look, man,
Wow.
My lord.
it took me time. Look, I had
Oh, I bet it took you some time.
I had to rush, man.
Yeah.
I had to
It's hard to
run.
find an unattractive photo of her, though. She is a good-looking lady, but
Oh,
she is
man.
genuinely funny.
And she is going up against none other than the, oh, look how attractive he is, Jeff Foxworthy.
Yes.
Oh, bless.
So Sarah Silverman versus Jeff Foxworthy. Wow.
Two of my favorite jokes from each one of them. My favorite Sarah Silverman joke is, "I was raped by my doctor," which is very bittersweet for a Jewish girl.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God. Okay.
And my favorite Jeff Foxworthy joke was an interview he was doing where he said his personal favorite, "You might be a redneck, he can't really tell because he has a clean act." And it was, if you've ever stood up in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner and said, "You can all go fuck yourselves," you might be a redneck.
Did he do that on the
Yeah.
Blue Comedy Tour when they did that back in the day?
Oh,
Well, he never really cursed. He was always a PG
Yeah.
comic, so
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
why he's never done that on stage or at a show.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. RMA? What? I mean, what? Ooh, Donald. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that photo, sure. Yeah, that's my fault there. Sorry.
Technically, it would be
Listen.
my fault, RMA, because I was in a hurry to get these photos out, and so it's my fault. I'll take
Dice Clay
responsibility
was in
for that.
Pretty in Pink. Yeah, you're right. I watched that recently. Didn't care. Did not care. Not a fan. I'm sorry, but Molly Ringwald's like I've been trying to watch like all of her stuff here recently, and Breakfast Club's still like the best one in my opinion as far as like with her
of her
yeah.
work.
Yeah, I mean that's just because it's a really good story.
Bills is right up there.
And then
Which one?
Right there.
I didn't hear any of that. But we've got 46 seconds left for Sarah Silverman versus Jeff Foxworthy. So cast your votes, guys. Sammy says, "Geez, Kevin." So yeah, so Kevin's getting blamed. I'm getting blamed. I don't know why.
Look,
Dice
Donald sent me the list at the last minute, and I had to like rush to pull photos off the freaking internet.
Yeah.
That was the best I can do.
Okay,
Kevin.
so Chris, you're going to count Jeff Foxworthy, and Kevin, let's have you count Sarah Silverman since you love her so much. Sean McGean says Sarah Silverman. Alex Benquita is definitely going with Jeff Foxworthy. Let's see. George Wilkins. Hello, Sean, by the way. Both Seans. And George Wilkins says Jeff Foxworthy all day. Had a great sitcom and opened the door for Get Her Done, Son. For Larry the Cable
why?
Guy, if I recall.
Why?
Right? Or no, that was it?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
No, he did.
Get Her Done? Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's Ron White, too. There's a lot of those guys.
Oh,
But that's
I see.
it. Like we're done with the votes, I guess. Well, actually, Janet says Silverman, and John says Silverman.
Okay, so 3-2.
So
I actually got to smoke pot with Ron White, and he showed
did?
me the secret scotch and weed area in his old school Corvette.
nice. What? That's so cool.
Yeah, he lives in Georgia, so when I was performing out there, he would always pop into the different clubs and get a guest spot, and I would just watch this man work his magic. It was amazing.
Nice.
Like, he is a technician.
He always seemed like he was. Just how effortless it looked for him to perform and do what he did. You know what I mean?
Mastered that to the way where he would do the setup, get to the punchline, the audience would start to laugh, he'll take a sip of his scotch. As the laugh starts to fade, he'll put the glass down and then go right into the next joke. Like, it is a perfectly seamless transition.
Wow.
It's just absolutely incredible to watch in person.
Well, he's not on the list. I'm sorry. But you'll be happy with who is, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so this is the preliminary round. So it's Andrew Dice Clay now is going up against Sarah Silverman. I have a feeling if they did this in real life, neither one would really like each other, but then they would both respect each other at the end of the day.
Well, this is a battle of Jewish comedians. Dice Clay versus Silverman.
Dice was a character. People forget that. Like, it was a character. It became his kind of personality because he had to always be that way publicly, but that's not who he actually was.
That's true. Kind of like Godfrey, Gilbert Godfrey. That's like that was. Like
Oh yeah, that's true. Isn't that crazy? His real voice. It's kind of nuts.
It's so drastically different.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Also, Molly is one of my faves, says Janet. Sammy says Sarah, but I think that's an old vote. I don't know. So, Sammy, if you're voting Sarah again, just let us know. And Alex Pankita says, to be fair, her boobs look fake. Well, so does yours, Alex.
Jeez.
I didn't want to be the one to point that out, but you got fake looking titties, dude. Okay.
How would you know? Have you seen them?
They're all real.
Yes. Every time we've talked on video, he's like, "You want to see my tits?" And I was like, "Fine." It's weird, but it's our thing. It's our thing.
I see.
Yeah.
You got some interesting lifestyle, I must say.
Alex says, on a sidebar, I did stand up for a minute at the New York Comic Strip Live. Not much. Okay, at the New York Comic Strip Live. Well, that's cool. I've not been there.
Sweet.
George Wilkins is going with Andrew Dice Clay. Let's see.
I feel like Dice is going to win this one.
Dice 4 times in total to 1 Sarah, and we've got 20 seconds left. 5 dice to 1 Sarah. We've got 13 seconds left. I think Sarah's going to probably lose this one, so I'm just going to start crossing her name off and move on with Andrew Dice. Yeah, it's a bloodbath. Sorry, Sarah, you tried. The Dice Man moves on. He is now moving out of the preliminary battle match, and now we're going to our regular matches. So here we go. This one I felt was very apropos because both of them are considered kind of assholes, so people don't really like them in the real world or like working with them. But they are some of the biggest names in comedy, and also were some of the biggest names on Tuesday night lineups for ABC, if I recall. We are talking Roseanne Arnold, Roseanne Barr. Take your pick, whichever Roseanne you prefer. Roseanne is going up against none other than Tim Allen.
Both also have been to jail.
That's true.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, both convicted felons.
Yay. So Tim Allen versus Roseanne Barr. Wow. Okay, so I feel like, I don't know, this is a tough one for me because I liked them both back when I was younger, you know what I mean? Like I liked watching their work, I liked watching their body of work that they did. And I enjoyed their shows and stuff, but I feel like Tim might have the edge just from what he's done in film-wise. To me, anyway.
Well, the Santa Claus.
Are we basing this on their TV? Like, is this based on their TV and film career, or are we going off their stand-up?
Well, I guess it depends on the individual. I think we're all going to be a little bit biased when it comes to those type of notes, so to speak. Kevin had mentioned some of Andrew Dice Clay's work in film and, so on and so forth. So it kind of pops into our brain. So it's really going to be...
Ford Fairlane still holds up as a great movie.
And there is a comic based on that. There is a comic book, if you can find it. I think DC Comics produced it back in the 80s.
Yes, they did.
I mean, wasn't...
The art was terrible, though.
Wasn't Tim Allen more successful in both aspects in TV, movies, and stand-up?
He was. They both started out as stand-ups, and they both turned their stand-up routines into what later would become each of their shows, essentially.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But I mean, Tim is still making stuff.
Yes,
Roseanne's
he
not
absolutely
really.
is. Roseanne's been canceled.
Well, yeah, Roseanne got barred after I think she called like Kamala or Michelle Obama a monkey, something like that.
Yeah.
It was Valerie Jarrett. It was like one of Obama's.
Agree about the political films. TCM just did a great month of them. Not sure if this is the crowd that would appreciate it, says Mr. Sean. Mom and Dad are going Tim Allen, so that's 2. Mr. Sean says Tim Allen for me, never found Roseanne funny. John Cadling says Roseanne stand-up I never really got into, same for Tim, but I like both of their shows and they had a great Halloween episodes, so I'm going based off the show I like the most, going with Roseanne. Yeah, Roseanne did have some killer Halloween episodes.
Did they ever have a crossover episode?
I feel like they did at one point. I feel like it, but I could be wrong.
I loved Roseanne more as a show though, because it just hit home so real. Like at the time. So
we had 3 for Tim, 1 for Roseanne, and Janet says Tim the Toolman. So 4 for
4 for
Tim,
Tim.
and 1 for Roseanne is what it looks like. So I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds out. It's 5 for Tim now. It looks like it's going to Roseanne.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, it's
getting
over.
ugly. It's getting
Okay,
ugly.
sorry, Roseanne. You're still canceled. Tim Allen moves on. I was watching Joe Somebody popped up on Tubi, I think. So I was watching that the other day. And it's where the whole premise of the story is it's like take your kid to work day, and he takes his daughter to work. And what's his name? Patrick Warburton takes his parking spot. So he goes out to tell him, and then Patrick Warburton just slaps the shit out of him and embarrasses him in front of everybody. And it's all about him then threatening to beat Patrick Warburton's ass and him learning about himself in the process. That's it.
Honestly, go back and rewatch She-Devil. Roseanne actually kills it in that movie.
Oh, that is a good movie. Yeah, it is a good movie. I remember that one. I remember that one very well.
Still holds up.
You know which movie out of the two of them does not hold up well is the Santa Claus.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
No, it does not.
Yes,
Have
it
you gone
does.
back and watched it recently?
Yeah, it's great. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
It's an institution, and they made 2 seasons of a series on Disney Plus, and they're both fun on a bun. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's more about the computer graphics of the movie don't hold up.
Oh well. You know, you're
The
gonna have that.
CGI on those reindeer. Oh.
Terrible. Embarrassing. Those reindeer embarrassed themselves. All right, so moving on then. Second Battle. This is one that I thought was very interesting. Observational comedy is very fun, or it can be if it's done correctly. And I feel like the king of observational comedy was Mitch Hedberg. And
Yeah, my favorite comedian.
Mitch, there we go. And Mitch is going up against another observational comedian, but one that was a little more popular, I would say, and still around.
Oh, yeah.
And that is Jerry Seinfeld. So we're putting Mitch Hedberg up against Jerry Seinfeld. Those of you that don't know Mitch Hedberg, I feel like I would be remiss to not explain that. So, Chris, since he is your favorite, do you want to give a quick explanation of Mitch?
Well, I'll start with my favorite joke of his. So he had a very particular way of speaking, and it was kind of one-liners. It was all just random one-liners. And one of my favorite one-liners of him is, "I'm against picketing, but I don't know how to show it."
Okay,
I love that line.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
He just
The one-liner
funny
of
thing
his
is, he goes,
my favorite one-liner of his is, I love when someone hands me a flyer because they're saying, "Here, you throw this away."
so yeah, it's all he was. Is, he was sadly died of an overdose. Way too soon, right as he was starting to get really popular.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't know who he is. I think he had one album that came out, one comedy album. Back when comedy albums were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else to say.
The problem with Mitch Hedberg was that he was so nervous and anxious he had such bad stage fright that he had to get hammered and drunk and take pills to get on stage and perform. His Comedy Central special, they just grabbed people off the street and put them in the audience so no one knew who he was. They went in there and they heard his special and they were like, "What am I listening to?" Because they didn't understand his type of humor.
Right.
So he recorded probably close to an hour. They cut it down to 30 minutes and had to add laugh tracks.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And it hurts because that man is brilliant.
All
He
right.
is absolutely brilliant.
So we're going to count here. Reza, let's have you count Seinfeld so you don't have much to do, I don't think. And Chris, you're going to do Mitch. Sean McGean says Mitch. Sammy says Mitch. George Wilkins for Mitch. Let's see. Alex Benquita says Mitch. He's the only person I'd vote for over Seinfeld, who I love. See, this is why we did this. Mr. Sean says Mitch. Mom and Dad says, sorry, we didn't know of him, so they've never heard of Mitch Hedberg, and that's okay. Now they can look him up. Janet says Mitch.
Look him up.
Alex says Mitch's pizza bit is the best. Mr. Sean says the Mitch
Yes.
line, I love rice. It's perfect for when you are hungry and want 2,000 of something.
Yes.
And Alex says his eyes were often closed during the sets. And there was absolutely no vote for Jerry Seinfeld. So
Wow.
this is kind of
That
incredible.
was easy.
Wow. Okay, I did not expect that, but I'm pleasantly pleased.
Surprised.
It
Yeah.
also tells the age range of your audience right now.
Yeah, kind of does.
People were around and to be able to appreciate Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. Okay, so next is the battle of the cancels. People that have been comedians that have been canceled rather recently. I'm sorry, Roseanne. She was just up against Tim Allen, or else she could have been in a three-way with these two. Aziz Ansari is going to be part of this battle of the cancels, and I feel kind of bad for him, to be honest, because he is genuinely really a funny guy. And I really did love him on Parks and Rec. And I don't know if I feel bad for this other guy. I just am sad that it went down the way it did, that he had to be that type of person. Does that make sense? Louis C.K.
Honestly, don't feel bad. Because ever since that whole situation with him happened, he's released like 3 comedy specials, had like 4 sold-out tours. He's fine.
Seriously?
Like, nothing got canceled.
Damn.
Yeah, no joke.
Okay.
The last
Only-
special,
only
he
his
actually
show.
addresses those issues.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Did his show get canceled though?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
But
his
I think
show
both
got
their shows got canceled, to be honest.
But within like a year's time, he was back touring. He'd released like 2 or 3 specials since then. He's back at it, and everybody's fine with it. But honestly, in this debate, I'm going with Louis C.K. because Aziz Ansari isn't a great stand-up comic. If you watch him objectively and
you're
realize
right.
he's like a Dane Cook knockoff, it's about his inflection and tone rather than the joke.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're 100% correct. I think in this battle, Louis would take it. I think he would destroy him if they were, talking to each other in a conversation. I think Aziz would throw up the obvious, and then Louis would just crush him after that. And it's just the way it is. I missed his last New York City show. I tried to get tickets, but it was sold out. Louis C.K. is hilarious, says
There you
Alex
go.
Benquita. George says Jerry can suck it. And then he says Parks and Rec guy, so he definitely knows who Aziz is. Mom says again, don't know them. Come on, Mom and Dad.
Aziz also had a stint on Scrubs.
Have you not seen Parks and Rec? Okay, Mom and Dad, that is a great series you should watch. I believe it's 5 seasons, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Parks and Rec
It's
is an absolutely great show.
well worth your time. Well worth your time. And I know you guys are always looking for content to watch, so I would put Parks and Rec. Let me type it in.
Follow that up with 30 Rock.
Parks and Rec on the list. So let's see. So let's do this. So I don't see any for Aziz.
One Aziz.
There's one of
Oh,
these.
there we go. Janet says 1. So we've got 1 for for Louis C.K., 2 for Louis C.K. So 2 for Louis C.K. and 1 for Aziz. So anybody else on this one, guys, before we move
Yeah, got
on?
plenty of people in the comment section. Yeah,
3 for Louis C.K.
There we go.
And it's okay. Janet can be wrong sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true. She can be. Possibly.
Another Aziz.
Is there? Where? I don't see it.
John.
What? Oh, Sean? Yeah. Okay. Sean throws in Aziz.
Sean.
And George.
Oh, George.
Shit. Okay, so Aziz looks like he's taking the lead.
Are you
Oh,
kidding? Are you kidding me? Wow.
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
disappointed.
But I mean, that's just the way it is,
thought
I
me and
guess.
George were cool. He's back on my
So,
watch list.
so Alex Benquita is for Louis C.K. Black Crown EP is for Louis C.K., so that's 2. Janet says Aziz. Sammy says Louis, so that's 3. Sean says Aziz. And George says Aziz, so that's 3-3. So it's tied, actually.
Hmm.
So,
Come on, Armin, get on the Louis train and just help him win.
So this may have to go.
Time is up. Yeah.
This has to go to the Supreme Council.
See ya, Alex. Thanks for popping in, buddy. His break is over, but it was fun to pop on. Yep, always fun to see you, bud.
Take care, Alex. So this goes to the Supreme Council then.
And Dangerously Delicious Aziz is my jam. I listened to him on Spotify. Aziz wrote a really good book as well, but he would get destroyed by Louis in a stand-up battle. You're 100% correct. He would. Okay, so it goes to the council here. It sounds like me and Reza are in agreement on Louis C.K. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, so am I.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
100%.
it's Louis C.K. He wins.
Yeah.
Aziz, sorry, you're done. Louis C.K. for the win.
All right.
Get out of here.
All right, moving on.
Next matchup is a really interesting one. Very good one, actually.
I love this one.
Reza will appreciate this.
I came up with this one while I was walking down the street. I was like, this is great. I got it tattooed. I ran into a tattoo parlor and was like, tattoo this on my hand. And so they did. And I ran home and wrote it down, and then I realized I should not have had it tattooed. I could have just put it in my phone in the little notes section. Yeah, made a mistake. So it's Dennis Leary. He's an asshole. ASSHOLE. He uses public toilets and he pisses on the seat.
Versus a man that I never heard of until I was watching the racial drafts on the Chappelle Show. Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. This is a great battle. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Pretty easy.
Battle the assholes.
Bill Burr is an actual stand-up comedian. Dennis Leary is a great imitation of Bill Hicks. He basically ripped off his entire act from Bill Hicks. His whole cancer special is word for word, almost practically like a Bill Hicks routine.
So he's like another Carlos Mencia, is what you're saying.
One of the original Carlos Mencia.
I guess you could say that then. I mean, I'm not saying that because I don't know. And I'm really close friends with Dennis, so I don't want to upset him. So I can't. I can't say that. Yeah, he's actually in the other room right now. He has a knife. And he always has a knife. It's a firefighter knife. But sometimes he's not nice. So, love you, Dennis. Oh, you're going to win. He's probably not.
I mean, they both done. I mean, Dennis Leary has a better body of work, TV-wise.
Yeah.
But Bill Burr was on Mandalorian, so.
And F is for Family, I believe, which was his animated series on Netflix, which is fantastic, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Breaking Bad.
Mom and Dad, by the way, F is for Family on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's an animated series, but Dad, you would love it. If you liked I remember my dad watching Louie, the animated series, and he loved the dad because the dad was just such an ass. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like this. That is Bill Burr's character, and F is for Family, so I feel like my dad would really enjoy it.
And Bill Burr was on SNL.
Okay, so Kevin, you're gonna count. You're gonna count Dennis Leary, and Chris, you're gonna do Bill Burr. Okay. Janet says Bill Burr. Sean says Bill. To choose between, how about Mort Saul? I don't know.
Mort Saul. Yes.
Mr. Sean says Dennis Leary, not big on Bill Burr. Grace says Bill Burr. Black Crown EP says Dennis stole his whole shtick from Bill Hicks. There we go. George Wilkins says Bill Burr. I was never big into Bill Burr, but especially after his SNL thing about the election, women screw him. She's going with Dennis Leary. Cage is going Bill Burr. Black Crown is going Bill Burr. And we will check it out, says Mom. So where are we at? It sounds like Bill Burr is winning.
Yeah, we have two for
Get
Dennis.
a chance. Look up Bill Burr in Philadelphia on the Opie and Anthony show, because that's when he roasts the entire city of Philly for being racist for 10 minutes straight. And it is a beautiful thing to watch.
All right. So we are moving on from that one, and we're on to Battle 5. Battle 5 is a great one, simply because it's the old schoolers. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
We're talking two of the all-time greats, probably top 3, top 5 all-time.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be tough.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, the first one, you already know it's tough when George Carlin's picture pops up on the screen. But then, if we follow that up with none other than Richard freaking Pryor, you have yourself a competition here. You have yourself a real conundrum. Do you go Carlin or Pryor?
This is rough.
Yeah. I'm putting a minute on the clock.
Honestly, it's hard.
If this goes to the Supreme Council, I may have to flip the coin again, like I did last week on a
It's
certain
really
battle
tough.
between Scream and
As
Saw.
stand-up comics, like I love both of them as stand-up comics, but movie-wise, again, Richard makes it without question.
No doubt, no
Like,
doubt.
he was in some incredible, and I don't know, like my blackness makes me lean towards Richard Pryor, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a lot of people popping in the comments here checking it out, so that's good. Reza, we're going to have you do Pryor, and Chris, we're going to have you do Carlin, okay? Let's see. Janet says Richard Pryor all day. Mom says George Carlin. Dad says George Carlin. George Wilkins says George Carlin minus the Coke. Black Crown says these two are stand-up gods. Sean McGee says it's a tough choice, but I got to go Carlin. George Wilkins says Paul Mooney was better.
Well, Paul Mooney was one of Pryor's writers.
Mr. Sean says George Carlin. Totally love Richard Pryor, but Carlin has been a favorite since I was 15 with the album AM and FM.
Great album.
And Mom, you were confusing me with Carlin was also great, but George times 2 because George is George Carlin. So if you could
I think that's a typo.
specify what you meant. Pryor was great, but George. Okay. Sammy says George Carlin, and then Black Crown says Richard Pryor. So it sounds like George Carlin's kind of running away with it, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And also The Godfather. He's going with Carlin as well.
Oh, Godfather.
Elliot says Carlin all the way. Wow.
Yeah, Godfather of comics
Okay.
going with Carlin.
All right. Jeez. Okay, Richard Pryor got decisively beaten by George Carlin.
That's crazy. I thought it'd be way closer than that.
You know how close I was to putting Bill Cosby in this battle, everybody? Do you know how close I was? So close. So close. I should have put him up against Sarah Silverman.
That would have been
I love
interesting.
Carlin's
No.
early stuff.
Only if you keep him away from, giving her,
Yeah, he would not be able to give her drinks during the battle. Here's a fun one.
The pudding and the plop.
I already know how this one's going to go, but I think that they're
Yeah.
both great comedians with different styles. And this one is going to be fun, I think. So we've got John Mulaney, who's extremely talented, extremely funny, very good.
Great joke writer.
Yes.
I got to see him, and he did a show on Broadway called Oh Hello with Nick Kroll.
That's so
Absolutely
good.
hilarious. It's so funny.
And he is going up against none other than Dave Chappelle.
Ah, yes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
You know,
Honestly, it's not that tough because as good as John Mulaney is, Dave Chappelle has an overall better rounded out body of work. And Mulaney is kind of known in the industry as the fucking pilot kid. Like, he's constantly pitching and getting shows on air that never make it past like half a season.
George, we only have enough space for so many people. And I went with somebody else over Rodney. And I know my dad's going to be mad at me for it. But, yeah, you'll see. You'll see.
Big Mouth lasted a while, though.
I'm
What was
mad
it,
at myself.
8 seasons or something like that.
What was it?
It's Chappelle.
Big Mouth on Netflix.
I don't think that was Mulaney. Was
It
it?
was John Mulaney and Nick
Yeah.
Kroll.
Yeah,
Was it?
It was.
Oh, that series sucked. It's fucking awful. Trash.
If Chappelle survives this round, my goodness, it makes up for a very interesting matchup. Who he'll be going up against in the next round.
Chappelle also holds a special place in my heart because he played Achu in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's
Yes,
his
he
first
did.
movie. That's his first movie too, by the way.
Is he still funny now, though?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I honestly, I still think he's funny.
Let's see. George Wilkins says Big Dave. So I think George is going Dave Chappelle. So Kevin, let's have you do Dave Chappelle, and Chris, let's have you do Mulaney. Mama, Dad, or no vote. Sean McGee says, I still think I Spy with Cosby and Robert Culp was a great TV show from the 60s. I was no arguing that. George Wilkins says, I'm rich bitch, and when keeping it real goes wrong. Elliot says, Dave. Sammy says Dave. George says now clone Dave, not so funny. Black Crown says Dave. Mr. Sean says Dave Chappelle. Agree with Reza about body of work. Mom says Rodney all the way with your dad.
Sean.
Yes, that's true. Sean McGean says Chappelle. And Janet says it's a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's over.
Yep. Sorry,
Chappelle-
Mulaney.
So Chappelle is going to go against one of the old
Again,
time.
Chappelle is good, and he's a great joke writer, and he has a couple of my probably all-time favorite jokes. But Chappelle just resonates with people more with his like topics and the way that he talks,
Social
whether it's good or
commentary.
bad.
Okay.
Social
Yeah.
commentary.
So I chose, let's see here. We pulled up Don Rickles with the hockey puck.
Oh,
Great stand-up comedian. Observational, very good with the insults. Great insult comedian. What he did with Norm Macdonald and what was his name? Artie Lang in Dirty Work. It's fucking amazing.
yes,
Fucking amazing.
incredible movie.
2 seconds of him in there, and he just absolutely destroys everybody, and it's fantastic. So we got Don Rickles
Let's
in,
put all these dead prostitutes in the car.
and who I chose over Rodney Dangerfield, and I think my dad's going to be okay with this, and I hope everybody else is. I went with Red Fox.
You gotta be Red Fox.
Oh,
Come
Yeah.
on, you can't go wrong here.
Fox. I have a fun story about each of these guys. The Don Rickles, older friend of mine, was at a bar in New York and happened to see Rickles at a table, so he orders a drink for him and sends it over. Just said, "Tell him I'm a fan," and wanted to say thank you. Rickles takes the drink, comes over to his table, and thanks him for the drink, and then proceeds to roast him and his entire table for the next 15 minutes straight. Just roast the shit out of every single one of them. Like, I would have loved to have been there.
That is amazing.
And then Red Fox, my dad and my mom were in an airport coming back, and they ran into Red Fox, so my dad runs over to tell him he's a fan, and Red Fox asks him his name, and he goes, "Oh, you're not one of them terrorist towhead motherfuckers, are you? Here, let me give you my home address, so when you come bombing America, you don't bomb my house. Remember, I'm one of the good ones." Like, just fucking with my dad.
God.
Incredible.
Couldn't have gotten away with that now, but back then, I'm sure it was hilarious.
Oh, yes.
My mom says my grandpa liked Red Fox. Well, that's good.
That's good.
Okay, so here we go.
All right. Speaking of Red Fox, I'm gonna put a nice
George
a nice
Bernie Mac
earworm.
is not even on the radar here. I'm sorry. That is not George. Bernie Mac did not make it. No.
Speaking of Red Fox, I'm gonna put a nice.
Kind of
America.
makes sense.
Sorry, America. Bernie Mac did not make
I'm
it.
gonna put a nice earworm in everyone's mouth and everyone's ears right now. Speaking of Red Fox. That's
true. So Reza, let's have you do Red Fox. Count him, and Kevin, if you could do Don Rickles, that would be great.
Okay.
Don Rickles, but again, a tough choice, says Sean McGean. So one for Don. George says Red Fox is a humanitarian and brought the best out of Ali at an interview. Don is king of the roast, so I vote Fox is where he's going. He's going Red Fox for George. Mr. Sean says Don Rickles always liked him and loved his book. There is a great story about meeting Frank Sinatra. Sammy says Don Rickles. Sean McGean says Kevin, Donald, and Reza, do any of you guys have those Jimmy Olsen comics where Jack Kirby created the Don Rickles tribute character? Yes, I'm sure I have.
I have one.
Yeah, I have one probably.
Actually,
It's a
have
Superman comic, so yeah, I'm sure I have one somewhere. Where Cat Williams? No. Again, Cat Williams is not even close to being on my radar for this. This is
You're not put Cat Williams on this.
we didn't have enough cocaine to add Cat to this one. I'm sorry.
Cocaine over here.
Richard Pryor took it all.
I got everything.
Eugene or Enrique. Oh, hey, Enrique says, "Hey, all. I'm so sorry I've missed so many live episodes. You better be sorry." And Elliot says, "Don Rickles." Where are we at with these numbers, guys?
Boy,
I got one for Fox.
I know, this is shocking. We only got four. We got 4 for Don Rickles.
Jesus. Okay. Well, I mean, we're out of time on that one, so it looks like Red's gone and Don moves on.
Wow.
Sorry, Dad. I know how much you don't like Don. I could have put Rodney versus Don Rickles, and that would have like annihilated Don Rickles. But you know,
Hey
You know who could have annihilated Don Rickles in a landslide is Pat motherfucking Williams.
Yeah.
No respect, Donald. No respect.
I know. I get it, Chris.
I thought about something. There's someone who's missing from this matchup, but I guess you couldn't put him against a certain person. Where's Eddie Murphy? I just thought about him.
Oh yeah. Eddie, we had Richard Pryor, and I thought, like as far as like controversial comedians in that era, Richard was a little bit earlier, but I feel like Eddie took a lot of influence from Richard.
Right.
If that makes sense. And
Richard was basically his mentor, so it would be like having the same guy on the list twice.
Right. So I was cool with just Richard being up, and I don't think Eddie would have beat George Carlin either. So there were some tough choices we had to make, guys. There's some tough choices. Yeah. For sure. And we wanted to like round it out with some ladies, a few ladies in here. In the stand-up world, it is a male-dominated world, but we still like to highlight some of the ladies where we can, which is why Roseanne was in here, Sarah Silverman, and now in this next battle, we have a lady popping in since Kevin threw the photo out before asking if we were going to have her in it. I don't find her funny at all, but she's in this, Kevin. There you go, buddy. Margaret Cho.
Oh, I put her and Joan Collins.
Oh.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah. So we went with Margaret Cho. Thanks, Kevin, for that. Appreciate that.
Honestly, I gave you Joan Rivers and Margaret.
You gave me a white woman and an Asian lady, Kevin, and you said pick.
You could have went with.
I didn't say that.
How did Kevin not go with Mom's Mabley? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, you fucked up.
Gilda Radner.
Gilda. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phyllis Diller. Where's
Phyllis
Phyllis Diller?
Where is Phyllis Diller? Right, Kevin? Fucked up.
All my
Just filled with fuck ups today.
Wow. Throw me under the bus.
Gladly.
And the train.
And Margaret Cho is going up against somebody that likes to get her done. Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Versus Margaret Cho. Talk about reinventing yourself. He was nothing before he came up with the Larry the Cable Guy shtick, and that made
he was
all the difference in the world.
Open mic failed comedian Dan Whitney.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
That shtick took him all the way.
He
Started
certainly
doing
did.
it on a local radio show. Like he would call in and do this character on the radio show. It became so popular, he ended up turning it into a stand-up routine. And then he got like 3 movies. And we all had to suffer through that.
Health Inspector,
Health
something about
Inspector 2.
Yeah, something about Santa, I think, or something. I don't know. He's had more. Yeah, he's had probably like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
He's had more movies than he should.
Okay, so here we go. We have, let's
he
see.
was in Cars. That was his big thing. The
Let's
Cars.
see. Elliot says, "You big dummy." Let's see. And then Sean says, Mr. Sean Cool. Mr. Sean says, is Gary Shandling on the list? No. I to be honest, I've never found Gary Shandling to be that funny.
Wow, that's messed up.
I don't care.
He was the Tooth Fairy in Tooth Fairy 2.
Even right. Should have been here.
He was in Delta Farce.
Yep, see, Delta Farce. There you go. Tooth Fairy.
Witless Protection.
And you're not wrong about borrowing a lot from Gary Shandling. I totally get that. But I didn't find Jerry Seinfeld to be that funny either. I think Seinfeld was so successful this series because of... Not because of, okay, a little bit because of Jerry and his observational, the way he reacted to things, but I think his side characters, were like George Costanza and Elaine and things like that, I think they made the show. If it wasn't for them, Seinfeld would be nothing.
I did find Seinfeld's co-creator of the show more funny.
Of the cast.
Yeah, or what is it, Curb Your Enthusiasm? Is that what you're talking about, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that guy
so good.
hilarious. I find him hilarious.
Say what you want about the actor,
Better
but
version.
Kramer was the best character on the show.
Yeah, Kramer was great. Michael Richardson.
And Newman.
Michael Richardson or Michael Richards?
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got. Let's count these votes really quickly. Cable Guy says George Wilkins. Mom says Larry the Cable Guy. Dad says Larry the Cable Guy. Then we have one for Margaret Cho. Then we have another for Cable Guy. 2 for Cho. Adam Lang. It's Adam Langhorn. Me and Richard Pierce are discussing the Cinerama Dome. Oh, that's cool, dude. Nice. This is a blast from the past. Mom says Tooth Fairy. Jesus, Larry the Cable Guy is garbage. Says Black Crown EP.
Ouch. Ouch.
Okay, we all have our opinions on that for sure. Mr. Sean says Gilda Radner was a stupendous comedic actress, but not a stand-up. Joan Rivers, Rita Rudner was great. I also enjoyed Paula Poundstone too back in the day. I thought she was fun. Phyllis Diller, etc. were stand-ups.
She did a stand-up at my college.
Who did?
Family. Paula Poundstone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know who would have been great on this list too? Maria Bamford.
Mr. Sean says Margaret Cho. Sean McGean says, how about Emo Phillips versus Stephen Wright? Stephen Wright's great.
Great.
Love Stephen Wright.
I got to see Emo when he opened for Weird Al at the Apollo.
Oh, no shit.
That was awesome.
Yeah?
It was great.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sean McGean says, for once we agree, Donald. Hey, there we go. Elliot says, cho, your boat. Mr. Sean says, let's see, about Jerry not being funny. Yes, thank you. They could have made a series about on Putty in a lane. Yes, they could have. Putty was great. And again, that is Patrick Warburton, who slapped the shit out of Tim Allen, which we all appreciate. What about Sam Kinison? Yes, Sam Kinison is another great comedian that we don't have enough space for, George, unfortunately. Adam Lang. See, that's the thing. If I would have put George Kennison on there and taken off George Carlin, everybody would have been like, well, where's George Carlin? You know what I mean? So there's only so much space.
Between Sam Kinison and them, yeah.
And we have to diversify a little bit. I might fly to LA soon, and I want to see Donnie and Kevin. Well, dude, we're down. Kevin and I are both down. And Sean McGean says, that's cool, Chris. And there we are. So where are we on those votes? Because I got lost in it.
There was
I think I had 4 shows.
Yeah, 4 shows.
And I think I have 4 Larry the Cable Guys, too, unfortunately.
I think you're right.
We might be tied.
I think you're right. Yep. Okay, so let's do the vote, guys. What do you think?
Reza, you're the guest. So saith you, Councilman Reza.
This is coming from a personal place of spite. I'm just going to pick a show because I was tired of getting bumped by Larry the Cable Guy at local shows because I performed in Georgia a lot. So fuck Larry the Cable Guy for taking my stage time.
That's fair.
Show.
All right. So saith you, Judge Turner.
Ah, man, it's harder because I don't really know Margaret Cho's work that well, so I got to go with Larry.
Okay. All right.
Is Shecky Green from 1923? Who the fuck is Shecky Green?
Whoever said Mort Saul. Dude, you don't know Shecky Green? Come on.
No, I don't know who the fuck Shecky Green is. I don't know Shecky Green. I'm sorry. Was Shecky Green a 1920s comedian? That's what I want to know, because Mr. Sean is bringing it up, and he only brings up stuff from 1920 to 1935, and that's it.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
I'm just saying.
He's from the 50s.
Elliot had 3 shows. All 3 don't count, Sean. All right, so Reza's going with Margaret. Kevin, who are you going with?
I'll go with Miss Cho.
Okay, Chris?
He already chose.
Who?
He chose Cho.
He chose Cho.
So I'm outvoted. I would have went with Larry. Sorry, Reza. I would have went with Larry.
I chose Larry the Cable Guy. I chose Larry the Cable Guy.
You chose Larry the Cable Guy.
Okay, so it's a tie between us. All right, so let's flip the coin. Are we ready on that? All right, we're going with the Alaska coin. We can get the beautiful mountains. That's the tails, and here's the heads, which is Alaska itself. Heads will be Margaret, since she was on top, and tails will be the Cable Guy, since he should always be on the bottom. Okay, ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. It's Cho.
Cho wins.
Cho wins. Cho wins.
I love how much you don't know how much it warms my heart that Sean brought up Shecky Green. I'm hoping next he's going to talk about the Chitlin circuit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, Miles Bailey.
What?
You're not wrong about Shecky Green, though. He was born in 1926.
Fucking
He was born in the 20s, but he was a 40s comedian.
He started doing comedy in the early 20s at a young lad of 5 years old.
What's with this depression?
George says it sounds like a Cho gangbang in there. I don't know. Adam says Larry, Cho is a hack, and that's rich because Larry is a fake character. Okay. That's true. You're right. Larry is a fake character.
It's now time for the quarterfinals.
Okay. Yep. Moving on. We have... Go ahead, Kevin.
I hope I'm right about this. I'm using my computer for the matchups too. It should be Tim Allen, correct, versus Mitch Hedberg.
Oof. I got a bad feeling for Timmy.
Oh,
I got a bad feeling for Timmy.
My personal vote goes to Mitch. That's for sure.
mine too.
I mean, everyone's does. And this,
if it comes to the Supreme Court, we're going to have to pick.
No,
Well,
yeah, I think
if the worst comes to the worst, we will settle the issue very quickly. I can tell you that much.
See you, Adam. I'm glad women like you.
All right, here's another Mitch Hedberg quote.
Okay, hit us.
This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty.
Also very true. Yeah, no one dry cleans shit. Okay, so we have 3 for Mitch and 2 for Tim, 4 for Mitch and 2 for Tim.
All right.
Okay, so
Got
Mitch is off to a double lead here against Tim.
Good. Very
Sean,
good.
the Seans are talking again. They're talking to each other. The Seans are talking again, guys. They're talking to each
throw
other.
out some more Mitch one-liners. Like, I don't have a girlfriend. I just know a girl who would be really mad if she heard me say that.
All right, I see some more Mitches, Donald.
We got another Mitch. Going with Mitch, so that's 6-2, 7-2.
Oh.
We've got 20 seconds left. 7-3. Elliot's going Tim Allen.
The Godfather's going with Tim. Elliott's going with Tim.
Oh,
Disappointed.
I mean, this is what Elliot does at the shop most of the time anyway. Right? You know?
we're going to have to reform him. I'm going to have to start playing some more Mitch around him.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I'd stop by more, guys, but I can't walk there now. Or I could, but it would take me an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not as fun of a walk as it used to be. Mr. Sean says, yes, Don, we are having an intellectual exchange. Oh, when you do that, do you guys have to, like, put your heads together like this? Just the tip of the forehead? Is that how you have the intellectual exchange?
Oh.
And then it's
Dons are getting intellectual.
like that?
Let me check my wit at the door, and we shall start over.
Like that for 5 minutes straight, and you're like, what are they doing? I see that happening at the shop. Okay.
All right, one final Mitch Hedberg quote before we go on.
Mm-hmm.
With the stoplight, green means go and yellow means slow down. With the banana, however, it's quite the opposite. Yellow means go, green means whoa, slow down, and red means where the fuck you get that banana at?
Stupid. Fucking stupid. All right. Next one. Kevin, are you ready? This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one.
I already have my pick on this one, but here we go.
Wait a second. What?
We're doing the next matchup, right?
Yeah.
Mitch won.
Of course we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh! Hang on.
No.
Hang on. It's a 3-way battle.
Oh, man.
I know. We've got Louis C.K.
My neck.
We've got Louis C.K., right, Kevin?
Yeah, Louis C.K.
Okay. Louis C.K. And who's he going up against?
I thought he was going against Bill Burr, right?
He is. He's going against Bill Burr for sure. But we have another contender in the ring now.
Is this going to be a 3-way dance?
This is a 3-way dance, baby.
Oh,
and
man,
it's Andrew Dice Clay has joined.
Oh.
Yep.
Man.
This is how this happens when you have the intermittent, like the earlier rounds, like the practice rounds. Whoever makes it to the end on that one gets to slide into the regular battle, and it's a 3-way. And Louis C.K. wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. Louis C.K. versus Bill Burr versus Andrew Dice Clay, guys.
Wow.
I feel like Burr's going to win this one. I really do.
Oh!
Because the other two are just so much older, and they're so much less relevant now than Bill Burr is. So, Burr's going to take it.
Okay, here we go. So Kevin, Kevin, you're
Shelley Berman.
You're Louis C.K. Reza, you're Bill Burr, and Chris, you're Andrew Dice Clay. Okay.
Oh.
Sean McGean says Bill Burr, no contest. Enrique says Bill Burr. Mr. Sean says Louis C.K. George Wilkins says Dice for the ice. Suck it, bitches. Oh! So it looks like Burr has 2, and then Louis and Dice has 1 each. Lenny Bruce. I know. I get it, Sean. He's not on this.
I know. We brought that up last week, too.
We did talk about Lenny Bruce. But he's a hard one to have a battle with. So he did not make it. In fact, now that you know the actual list, bringing up other comedians, what about, they're not on here. It's over. We're not adding any more. It's done. We want this podcast to be an hour and a half. But I appreciate...
For at least one more comedian, the motherfucking king of
comedy. But it makes me excited, though, when I hear this, because I know that everybody's excited about it, and they want to see something else. They want to add more to it, and that's a good thing. It's never a bad thing with that. And I want that to be known. I'm not angry. Nobody's upset. We just can only fit so many on here for a time. But we appreciate it, because I did not know some of these comedians, so now I can look them up. YouTube has great things where I can watch like 3-minute clips of people, and I love that. And I love to do that while I'm driving. Like when I'm driving to work or something, I just look it up on YouTube and press play and just let it go. And I just drive along and listen to comedy. It's the best.
I think Burr won.
Let's see. When do you get to... Okay, so Sammy says Dice, so it's 2 for Dice. Elliot says Burr, so that's 3 for Burr. I get that he couldn't get all the greats in here, but I would have loved to see Patricia O'Neill, Steve Martin, Bob Newhart, Jeff Foxworthy, and Martin Lawrence. Well, Jeff Foxworthy was already in here. Black Crown, you did not make it in for that one. And Martin Lawrence was not in here specifically because he insulted my mother. He offended her. He offended her, and he can go fuck himself. So Martin Lawrence will never make the top comedian list. I'm sorry.
Are you serious? He really insulted your mom?
Yes.
For real?
Well, he offended my mother, and I don't like that, so he's not on the list.
Oh, that's
What did he
cool.
say?
We'll talk about it later. Mr. Sean says, how about a battle of comedians who died of drug overdose? All right, too long of a list.
good Lord.
Jesus,
good
Sean.
Well, I do.
Sean's over here.
O'Neill is another-
Sean, Andrew Dice Clay says Janet. I think Andrew's in the lead now, right?
No,
It's
I think-
tie. It's still
I think
3-3. It's 3-3.
3 Andrew, 3 Burr.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
time ended a long time ago. So
Okay.
I don't know if that last one.
All right. All right. Judge Reza, what say it you between Burr and Dice?
This is a
Reza,
tough
do you
one.
hear me?
I think he's froze. Chris.
With Burr.
Burr.
He's not frozen.
There we go.
All right, you
Okay.
said Burr. You said Burr.
Okay, we got a Burr out of him.
Burr.
Burr.
Me too. Me too.
Burr.
I would have went with Burr as well. So Burr wins. Moves on from Andrew Dice Clay. This is
All
kind of who
right.
we thought it was going to be anyway, right?
Wasn't
Yeah.
Bill Burr
Yeah.
on Louis C.K. on Louis' show?
He may have. He had a lot of people on there.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting one. We've got George Carlin back in the mix. It's George
Against-
Carlin. And it's a very
Against-
big picture, Kevin, so give me a second to close this down a
alright.
little bit.
All right.
There we go. And who's he going up against?
Dave Chappelle.
There you go. Dave
Ooh.
Chappelle.
Both are. You know,
Okay.
this is a good matchup because they're both are great at social commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good match.
I feel like Chappelle got a lot of influence from Carlin.
Well, of course.
In
Absolutely,
the
dude.
when it came to his politics and the way he speaks, just the way he kind of fleshes out a story to talk about a particular thing and then make light of it and make you chuckle, make you laugh. I feel like Chappelle and Carlin do a lot of that. What separates Chappelle and Carlin, of course, is Chappelle's TV specials that he's done. The series, The Chappelle Show, which was more kind of like akin to like a Saturday Night Live sketch comedy kind of thing, which I loved. You had some greats in there, some great actors and some great talent as well. So this is tough because Chappelle really blazed his own path with that and separated himself from Carlin in a lot of ways. But there's influences, so you could look at that as well.
But also, Carlin did exactly the same thing you're saying Chappelle did during his time. Like, Carlin kind of did that same thing where he carved a new path for himself opposed to what other comedians were doing at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they have
No,
a
you're not
lot
wrong.
of similarities.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. So there's a. This is, in other words, this is a great battle. This is, Kevin already said it's going to be really good. So we'll see. Kevin, let's have you do Carlin, and Reza, let's have you do Chappelle. Okay.
Chappelle show. Chappelle show.
Who beat Foxworthy? It was Sarah Silverman beat Jeff Foxworthy. Sorry, Black Crown EP. Let's see. Dave Chappelle says George. Dave says Enrique. Mr. Sean says George. Sean McGean says George. Mom says George. Dad says George. Both are on the Mount Rushmore of comedians, but I'm going to go with Chappelle, says Black Crown. So it sounds like what? Like a 3-3 situation?
Actually, 4. A 4 for George.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Dave, George. Yeah.
Dave.
George, Dave,
I
and
don't think
Dave.
you can be mad
Or
at
Dave.
either way for this one.
And then another Carlin.
Okay, so that's 5 then.
So 5-4?
Yeah, 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4.
Okay, 30 seconds left on the clock, guys.
5-4 Carlin.
This is good. I like that. I like that this is a competitive matchup.
It's a tough call because they were both just like, legends at the craft of stand-up comedy. And they both excelled to the top of the game and stayed there for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they both kind of like brought in a new era of comedy with themselves as well. Like they revitalized people into it.
That's right.
All right, so we are still at a tie, and we're past the 30 seconds, so it looks like it goes to us, guys. Jesus.
Wait, we're tied? I didn't know that.
It wasn't.
No,
Was it?
5-4
It wasn't
Carlin.
a tie.
Oh, was
Yeah.
Carlin in the lead? Okay, so it goes to
Yeah,
Carlin.
it was 5-4 Carlin.
Okay. Sorry,
Carlin
Chappelle.
wins.
Carlin wins
Although
this one.
Out of curiosity, though, had it gone for a tie, what would you fellows have done?
Ooh, I would have had to gone with Carlin just because he gets more like, OG status.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first host of SNL. He's kind of a comedic
Kevin,
legends.
Kevin, we would have flipped a coin, buddy. 'Cause I got a feeling you and me were Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have gone to a coin toss. So there we go. I'm glad it didn't go that way, though.
But without Carlin, there would be no Chappelle.
Chappelle, right? Of course.
So
We know.
Well, I mean, we had Pryor. Get it? We had Pryor. Prior to, okay, never mind. I'll shut up. Okay, next round is Don Rickles versus Margaret Cho, guys. Jesus.
Well, this won't be long. I don't
No,
think
this is not going to take long. Annihilator, Don. Go ahead. I feel like he could make her cry.
I think he would.
And I don't think he would care.
Cho wins this round.
I'll be shocked.
They'll just do it just to piss you off, Kevin. Don Rickles, Margaret Cho.
Resume may lose his mind and start protesting.
Sean
I'm gonna
McGean.
freak out.
Wow, even my parents voted Don Rickles over Margaret Cho. My dad hates Don Rickles. I hate Don Rickles, but I'm voting for him over her.
Don Rickles, but he hates Margaret Cho.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, I know, Chris. I know. I was thinking the same thing. So
There's one thing we've learned about Donald's parents is they really hate Margaret Cho.
yeah. Well, apparently so does everybody else. I don't know who the hell put her on here. Kevin.
Wow.
Kevin.
Yeah, this is like 7 or 8 Rickles and no Cho. I'm not even going to wait. Margaret's done. Don Rickles annihilated her.
All right, now we're on to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And this is a really, really good semifinal. Actually, both semifinal matchups are great.
I like this. This is a fresh, vibrant matchup here. This first one because they are so dynamically different. They're so there's this special nuance of each one that sets them apart from the other. So I love this. Yeah, I just love this. So go ahead, Kevin. I'll pop them up here.
It's Mitch Hedberg going against Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Oh man. I feel like Burr might edge this one out, but I would personally pick Mitch Hedberg. Like I love him dearly with all my heart.
I think Bill's had more time. That's the difference. Bill's
Oh,
had
yeah.
more time. Mitch did not have time to really thrive and grow, where Bill has definitely gone around. So, yeah, that would be a tough one. I would probably go Burr as well on that. And it's only because I've seen him just completely annihilate people, like, so nonchalantly.
I'm biased to Mitch. He's my favorite comedian, so I would 100% always go with Mitch.
George, I can understand that
wins.
Mitch had more
That's
coke,
Chris.
but are you going with Mitch or are you
Oh.
going with
Hey, Erica.
Bill? And Erica says Cho again, and I don't know what that means.
I guess you're surprised Cho made it that far.
Oh, she voted Cho. I don't know.
Erica, what's up, girl?
Okay, so here we go.
All right.
Mom says no, it's not nice to hate. They don't hate Cho. Sure. We've never had Chinese food at our place. I'm gonna be honest with you, not once. Once as a kid, never. Okay, so Black Crown says Bill Burr. So let's have Chris. Let's have you count Bill Burr. Kevin, you're gonna be Mitch Hedberg. Sean McGean says Mitch. Mr. Sean says Mitch. Enrique says Burr. Sammy says Mitch. George says Mitch for the good times. Janet says Mitch. Elliot says Burr. Eric is still saying Cho. Good for you for just sticking to your guns there. And Mom says, LOL, I love Chinese food. All right, so where are we at on the numbers, guys?
I have 5 for Mitch.
And how many for Bill?
3, right?
Chris, you are the worst counter.
I think his audio's out. Yeah, I don't think we can hear him.
I can't even with this guy.
I usually count everything anyway. So
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, here you
Yeah.
go. It's 3, right, Chris?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, it's 2.
2? I thought it was 3.
I don't think so, buddy.
Bill for Bill.
Oh, bless this chat group. Mitch Hedberg crushed it, and I love them all.
Let's see. Burr says.
There was 3, but it doesn't matter because he still lost.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
She may be, Mr. Sean. She may be. Thank you for pointing that out and trying to ruin my joke. I appreciate that, buddy.
All right, back check.
Be happy to do that for you when you come
Yeah,
into the
don't
shop. I'll be happy to ruin any joke you come up with. I will fucking ruin you. I will ruin all of your jokes, Mr. Sean. No one will ever find you funny ever again.
All right. According to Wikipedia, she's an American stand-up comedian.
There we go, then.
Whoa, Sean.
So Mitch moves
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Mitch decisively moves on, annihilates Bill, which is surprising. Really, it is surprising.
And then we go
I'm
into
shocked,
our,
but I'm happy.
we go to our final semifinal matchup. George Carlin versus Don Rickles.
This is a good one. This is a good one.
Ooh.
This is
Ooh,
fun.
man.
This is
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
George Carlin, and let me pull up Don Rickles.
I feel like the rest of the time, I feel bad for your mom, Donald. She's on the other end of the chat, just going, "I swear, I hope they know I like Chinese people."
Yeah, that's right. She's like, and Koreans too. It's
We
great.
just had noodles the other day.
And Mr.
She is
Sean-
Korean, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Sean, on the
Korean
prior joke. I appreciate that. Sean McGean goes Carlin. Mom goes Carlin. Dad goes Carlin. Black Crown EP goes Carlin. George Wilkins says George for humanity's sake. It sounded like a bloodbath here. I don't know if Rickles can come back.
Yeah.
What a hockey puck, that guy, let me tell you.
No love for the Rickle.
That's disturbing.
Into Rickety Town.
So that means
It's Carlin.
we're gonna
There's
Yeah,
two more
that's a
for
bloodbath,
Carlin. There's
yeah.
no Don Rickles. Carlin moves on.
Yeah.
It's Mitch Hedberg versus George Carlin, guys.
you know, Mitch Hedberg, I'm pretty
Whoa.
impressed. Got all the way to the championship.
This is actually very
Wow.
impressed for Mitch. Yeah, I'm
Impressed.
shocked.
No, look, Chris is crying because he loves Mitch Hedberg so much. He's so happy that he made it all the way to the
All
final.
right, one final Mitch Hedberg quote before we go. I'm a heroin addict. I need to have sex with women who saved someone's life.
No. No, I like the escalator joke better.
I got another one of my favorites for Chris. I got a donut, and they gave me a receipt. I should give you the money, and you give me the donut. End of transaction. I can't imagine where I would need to prove that I purchased the donut. Some skeptical friend? Oh, man. Don't act like I didn't get that donut. I got the documentation right here to prove it.
That is a good one. So we have Mitch Hedberg versus George Carlin. Guys, go ahead and do your voting. Looks like George Carlin already has 2 votes. George is going Mitch. Yeah. Janet is going to Mitch. Sean McGean is going Carlin. So Carlin is now ahead by 1.
This is a tie race.
As we expected it to be.
Enrique is going Mitch. Black Crown is going Carlin. Carlin still stays in the lead by 1.
Where's Eric?
Sammy's just tied it up. Mitch and Carlin are completely tied, everybody. Elliot just pulls out with a Carlin, now putting him back in the lead.
Oh.
Mr. Sean Carlin is like choosing between the Pope and the Archbishop of Canterbury. So now Carlin is ahead by 2.
All right.
Carlin has taken a decisive lead by 2. And we'll add some quiz music here. Let's do a little background music here.
Yeah, I think Carlin's going to pull away with this now.
Big Sal popping in to go with George Carlin, putting him ahead by 3.
Happy birthday, Big Sal.
Big Sal's Big 4-0. I don't know how old he is. I'm just making that up. It sounds right,
30.
though.
Oh, he said Mitch.
No, he's 39. He's born.
Oh, okay. So Carlin's up by 2?
1.
1. Okay. And we got 10 seconds left. Oh, okay, Sal. He's 39. Close enough. Round up, motherfucker. You're 40.
Any last votes, anybody? Any last votes?
Chris, like, he really wants this.
Anybody at all? Anybody at all? Please, anybody, please. Hey.
Come on, Mitch.
Looks like that's it, guys. Out of time. Mitch lost. George Carlin is the winner, guys.
Well, at least he lost to a good. I can't argue. I can't complain about that. George Carlin.
Nobody can be mad about George Carlin winning.
Margaret Cho or Amy Schumer. I know you would have lost your mind, right, Chris?
Yes, Turner? I would. Yes, this computer would be.
Sal says Julio says Mitch. Too late, Sal.
To LA right now.
Too late.
Yes.
Mitch, it lost. George Carlin is the winner. And here we go. George Carlin for the win, everybody. Just blow your eardrums out.
If that had come on time and it was a tie, who would have? Would we have had to have flipped the coin or?
I would have went with Carlin.
I would have went with Carlin as well.
It would have been a coin toss. Me and Chris would have went all the way.
Carlin's a master of his craft. I don't think there's ever been a time where Kevin and I have been in complete agreement the entire time like this. It's very weird.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Highly unusual.
Yeah, very weird, but hey, is what it is. Mom says, woohoo, she's happy for Carlin to win. Sean says, you guys should do a round 2 next week. Carlin advances and goes up against Lenny Bruce. That's not really a round 2 as it is just another one comedian added, which is not the same. But I get it. Lenny Bruce is great. This was great, guys. This was a lot of fun. Jeez, George Carlin won.
You know what time it is, though, right?
We have, for those of you that are stuck around, we do have a prize here at the end. So we're going to give out a prize. It's going to be a random prize that Kevin will be picking out for you. So if you are here, say you are here in the chat, and we will add your name to the Wheel of Fun. Now, I know there's plenty of you still here. So go ahead and say here, and we will add you.
Chris calling with a voicemail of doing Mitch Hedberg jokes.
I wear a necklace because I want to know when I'm upside down.
Okay. We have Mom is here, Dad is here, Sammy is here.
George, I think, is still there, right? I remember him sticking around. Yeah.
George is here. You need to say what the prize is. No, because sometimes Kevin likes to give out naked pictures of himself.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
I think you're I think you're deflecting upon something that you always wanted to do, since you're a.
Well,
like
I've given you
Shaw.
several naked pictures, and you've gladly taken all of them, Kevin. So
I'm
let's
sure I
not
have.
let's not bring that up,
I'm sure,
Mr.
I have.
Awkward. Okay. Okay.
Your dreams, your dreams.
Yeah, I dreamt it.
Hey, listen. We've all seen your download history, Kevin. Okay, settle down.
Yeah,
There.
you're in a bit of trouble, sir.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, the glass house. You're throwing rocks. Let's be calm about this.
Oh no, it's not a glass house, my friend. It is a solid. It's a rock solid house.
A rock hard house, huh?
Yes.
Uh,
There you go.
Kevin's last 3 searches on Google were racist dominatrix, white racist dominatrix, and Tyler the Creator, because he felt like he didn't know enough about the guy.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, he's interesting, an interesting character for sure.
That's funny. Like,
Okay, so George said he was here. Enrique says here. Janet's here. Elliot's here. Big Sal is here. Have you been adding these, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Black Crown is here. You got everybody?
Yeah, Black Crown. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and spin the wheel of fun.
All right. I'll just add the last name.
Okay, I'm going to do another song here.
And then whoever wins the spin of the wheel, I will send you the name, Reza, so you can do the announcement.
Okay.
I feel like Tim Allen should be in whatever this song is playing for.
Where and how are you sending me the name? Because I've been getting thoroughly stoned throughout this.
I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you the name.
Smoke signals then.
And boy, does this work out tonight for a certain person. Wow. All right. You're gonna get it in about 3 seconds, Reza, the winner.
Second,
You should- you-
get this name. I'm going
All
to read off the name of the winner.
All right.
It is Val.
The birthday boy.
Hey, Big Sal won! Ah, congratulations, Sal. That's really great. That is great. Sal, you get a prize, buddy. Thank you for being a contestant. Thank you for being here, everybody. We'd love to thank you. And I want to thank our special guest, Reza. Reza, are you doing like any stand-up or anything sometime soon, or hosting something?
Not anytime soon. I'm kind of busy with more stuff than I have time to do shows, but I got a couple other podcasts I'll be doing soon that I'll be hosting, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Okay.
So you can find it on there as well as this.
And
Shall Rumble the Spoon.
and your page is on your Instagram. It's under your name, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
If you look up Reza Asghari, you can find me on all the platforms.
Can you spell your last name so the people know?
Asgari.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Kevin?
I've learned to enunciate.
Tonight, I'm gonna give a mood tonight, Donald.
Really?
I think we'll do one more prize.
One more prize? Okay.
Oh.
One more prize. Here we go.
Ooh.
Kevin
Can I
demands
read
it.
that one too?
Yeah, let's do another one. I'll send the professor the winner.
All right.
Oh, I want to read it again.
Oh, you do?
I kind of do.
Okay, fine. All right, here it is.
And the winner is everyone in the chat room because the show's going to be ending soon. Just kidding, it's Janet.
Janet is the big winner of the second prize. Congratulations, Janet. Congratulations, Big Sal. You guys are big winners. Congratulations to both of you. We appreciate you all being here and being a part of this. And I want to say thanks to both Big Sal and Janet. And this has nothing to do with them winning, but they were both part of the speed friending that we did last night. And Kevin also partaked in that. So I want to thank you all for being there for that. Person I will not be thanking for that is Sammy, who decided to make up that she was sick. She told a lie and said that she wasn't feeling well and couldn't make it in.
False accusations.
False accusations. I know a sick person when I see one.
Contagious conjunctivitis.
She should have just brought it in. Yep, should have just brought it in, Sammy. All right, well, thank you all very much. We appreciate you all. Thank you for being a part of this. This has been wonderful. George Carlin for the win. And next week, we will continue on our battle month. So it will be another battle. another face-off. And the theme we will announce soon. You will get the theme announcement soon on our social medias. That'll be on Instagram, on Facebook, all that fun stuff. So check us out, and in the next couple days, we should have our battle listed for you, and it's going to be a doozy. So thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thanks again to Reza. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Kevin. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for giving birth to me. I appreciate that. That's very thoughtful of you both. So thank you. All right, guys, take care. And if you're feeling thirsty, perhaps you should
have a knee-slapping, tear-jerker, but always comical Rumblepop.